Okay, so now we finish our tour of Donald Trump's weekend rallies in Nevada. Donald Trump again in this rally raised the idea of a third term. Now, I want to be really clear. The reason this is notable is no longer because Donald Trump really thinks he's going to get a third term or is going to try to get a third term. He won't. This is notable because it exposes his followers as merely sheep who care about nothing other than getting behind Trump no matter what he says. Trump says, fill the Supreme Court seat. Sure, fill it. Trump says, I deserve a third term. Sure, third term. Trump says, we're the best on coronavirus, no matter what the numbers say. Sure, we're the best on coronavirus. There is nothing they won't cheer for. And here they are cheering for Donald Trump's suggestion of a third term, naturally slurring his way through the speech.
And 52 days from now, we're going to win Nevada. And we're going to win 4 more years in the White House. And then after that, we'll negotiate, right? Because we're probably, based on the way we were treated, we're probably entitled to another 4 after that. And it should never happen to another president. It's just a dishonest group of people. But here we are, and we're going to be here for...
So that's the notable thing, that the crowd cheers. Even if you like this guy, which already signals a problem, if you believe in the basics of the United States, don't you have to boo the suggestion of a third term? Because a third term is fundamentally not what this country is about. We revere George Washington for saying term limits, president, not a king. But don't worry, guys, it's just a joke, right? Well, either way, the fact that he keeps repeating it without a hint of sarcasm is a problem. But what should really scare us is that the crowd cheers. Trump then went on to say that the biggest problem the country has right now is the media, not the coronavirus pandemic, not an unhinged lunatic in the White House, not any of the other problems we actually have. It's the media.
It's hurting our country. It's hurting our country. They're the biggest problem that this country has is the fake news media. Worse than the Democrats, because, you know, the Democrats and their partners, they play together. Joe Biden spent the last 47 years selling out America, offshoring your jobs.
And then Trump continuing to slur, just very labored speech, calls Joe Biden a pathetic human being. If Trump was someone that tried to talk to you at a bar, you would sidle over to the opposite side of the bar.
To China, and you haven't seen the last of it. Sleepy Joe Biden surrendered. You know where he is now? He's in his damn basement again. No, he's in his basement. He's in his basement. But, you know, I can be bad to him because he put the most vicious ad on television that I've ever seen. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where I'm standing over the graves of our fallen warriors, our fallen heroes. These are great people, the greatest people there are. And I'm standing over there, and they have some sleazebag reporter from a third-rate magazine having some source quoting me, saying, I won't even use the term, but saying bad things. And there's nobody that loves our military, respects it, and the people more than me. And they took... And I didn't even ask. We had 25 people that were witnesses that are on the record already that have said that never took place.
Fox News, by the way, instead of covering the Trump rally when this was going on, they ran a segment on the impact of singing Happy Birthday on the transmission of coronavirus with a bunch of panelists I don't recognize other than cultural critic and arbiter of ideas, Dave Rubin. That's how bad this was. That's what Fox News was talking about. Trump then continues to repeat this. I don't even know where this came from. This idea that Joe Biden wants to ban energy, just ban it altogether.
And then we got hit with the plague, the China plague. And we're not thrilled. It's a disgrace. Nobody should have died. Nobody should have died. We got hit. The whole world got hit. But they stopped it from going into the rest of China. They stopped it from going into China, but they didn't stop it from coming into the U.S. and Europe and 188 countries. So whether or not we allow Biden to impose the biggest tax increase in the history of our country, $4 trillion, Or he wants to ban energy, ban American. He wants to stop fracking. Hey, by the way.
Completely ridiculous, of course, ban energy, but stopping fracking sounds pretty good. I hope Joe Biden will stop fracking if he becomes president. And then Donald Trump apparently not getting a strong enough reaction to that, scaling up the unhinged claims about Joe Biden, saying if Biden gets elected, there will be countless deaths from suicide and Biden will permanently destroy the lives and dreams of tens of millions of Americans.
If he got in, we would have the greatest depression in the history of our country. I mean it. I think 1929 would look like good times, all right? Because he'd do everything wrong. He'd raise your taxes. He'd raise the hell out of interest rates. He'd do everything wrong. The Biden shutdown will permanently destroy the lives and dreams of tens of millions of Americans, inflict totally lasting harm on our children, and lead countless deaths from suicide. Don't forget, when you do these shutdowns, your state is shut down. You got a governor, you're shut down.
There really aren't words to describe how absurd all of this is. Policy analysis, forget about it. Even coherent criticisms of his opponent, forget about it. Even an accurate presentation of the facts from which he can make his unhinged attacks, forget about it. And then last clip, I challenge you, make sense of this rant about Antifa. I dare you to do it. Take a listen.
And with that comes tremendous crime. And you know, I was talking the other day. Darling, somebody just moved next door. Who is it? It's a representative of Antifa. She will look at her husband and say, darling, we're out of here. We're out of here. Antifa. Remember, they were trying to blame other people. They don't like to mention the name Antifa. I said it's Antifa, and I was right. I was right. They're bad people. And you know what? They have to pay a price for the damage and for the horror that they've caused. They have to pay a price. And it's so easy.
What is he even talking about? The rallies will continue this week. We will have coverage of some of them. Not healthy to watch too much of this stuff. I will have coverage of some of them live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. One of our sponsors today is Lucy, and they are giving my audience 20% off. Lucy is a company founded by Caltech scientists with only one mission, which is to help people quit smoking and vaping by offering a clean, affordable nicotine alternative. Now, many of you know, you've heard the stories. I've known several people in my life who have struggled with quitting smoking. I've seen how difficult it can be. And nicotine alternatives can be hugely helpful. Lucy offers a nicotine gum in 3 flavors: wintergreen, cinnamon, and pomegranate. They also have lozenges, which come in cherry ice flavor. Lucy is affordable. It'll ship right to your door. You don't have to go out to the store. Shipping is always free. You can buy single boxes or save with a subscription. It's the year 2020. It's time to throw the cigarettes away and get rid of the vape. And Lucy can make it easier. You'll find a ton of excellent reviews online from countless people who have used Lucy to quit smoking and vaping. Go check them out at lucy.co. I've put the link right underneath this video, and you'll get 20% off when you use the coupon code Pakman. And just a quick disclaimer, I'm required to give: these products contain nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.